All right, all right. This is Real Estate Radio and our Get to Know series with Mr. Darin Dawson. Hey, Darin.
How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining me. Now, we did a little pre-chat. We talked about this wonderful world of LinkedIn where these videos only are housed. They only go on LinkedIn. I find it to be kind of cold's a heavy term, but just not very friendly, maybe. But we'll get more into it. I just think like Gary Vee, as I just mentioned, Gary Vee said the quote that by 2023, it'll be TikTok and LinkedIn as the surviving platforms.
Wow. Bold.
Again, as we know, kind of bombastic with his statements. He throws it out there, but I'm not sure about TikTok, but this LinkedIn to me is definitely evolving. But the way they treat with algorithms and all the stuff that they do and when things get posted and when they get shared, and I don't know how great a job they're doing at that. It's all about me because I can just watch the traction over time, how some will increase and some will decrease, but overall just kind of watching these videos go through the LinkedIn machine.
Sure.
And I think anyone that's trying to do video, as your company helps folks do video, they have to be aware of that platform and how that platform behaves, if that makes any sense. Meaning algorithms, they set it up the way they want to. They don't set it up the way John wants it to. They set it up how they think it's going to be best for their platform.
Yeah. I agree with you. I also think, though, I don't know, I'm an old school thinker in this. I'm about to say you probably are too, John, but be of value and abundance will follow. And I really think that there's a lot of things that we're just, if we thought more about the person that's receiving it more than what we're trying to achieve while doing it, I think that would change a lot for a lot of people. And in LinkedIn, it doesn't matter what the platform is, TikTok, it could be Facebook, email, text, calling people. Am I caring more about you than I am caring about what I'm trying to accomplish with what I'm doing? Truly, honestly, we got away from sometimes back when I started selling. I've always been in sales and marketing, but you always had to solve a problem, right? Typically you're calling because you have an idea that can solve a problem for someone. What problem are you solving with your content? When you're putting content out there for the sake of content, it's going to get low value. And I've seen some of your stuff. It's great. And I think we need to keep asking ourselves this, like, what problem are we solving? And am I being of value to someone right now? And how? And who are those people? And am I talking to them? And are they engaging with me? Because you don't need to engage with everybody. You need to engage with the people, what I call your ideal customer profile, right? Who is your ideal customer? What problem do you solve better for them than anybody else? And is your content attracting that person there? So that could be on LinkedIn. It could be in any platform, but you should know that, I think, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a salesperson, whatever role you have, really, it's important, I think, to know those couple of things, that I'm solving it for a person. They have a problem. I know what the problem is. I know how to solve it. My product does that. I do that before you send the message.
Yeah, it's the kind of the pre-planning before the creation. And for me, the thing that is just to be kind and find a little levity, try to lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
There's really no sales pitch from Chipman. I'm just out there trying to be kind and the purpose is to find the positive impact people like you, Mr. Dawson, because I think that the stuff of the nonprofits that you guys are doing, just in general, watching you guys over the last 10 years, I'm a fan of your company. I'm a fan of what you guys have done. So
thanks.
Well, and thank you for the little accolade of my stuff that I'm doing, because at the end, the PIPs, the positive impact people, if we can get them all to start following, not what I'm doing, just in general, when people are doing that kind content and not just trying to throw something out there on the hate side to get the reaction.
Yeah.
I'm never going to do that. My feeling is if I can stay true to this path, hopefully that's the right thing from the man above. But for me personally, I just feel like that is kind of missing from LinkedIn. So that was kind of my goal.
I think it's easier than ever now to point the finger at stuff. It's hard. It always has been hard to solve problems and actually be involved and look, if you're just going to point the finger at stuff going on and not be a part of the solution, I think it's just, you're part of the problem in a lot of ways. So let's solve things. Let's not just point at them. So what's the action behind the pointed finger, right? So it's so easy to point these days.
You're right. And so a great friend of mine, Jason Trotman, and I did an episode about racism. And it was uncomfortable. It was awkward. But my feeling, Darin, is it's conversations that need to happen. And if we can have them on these platforms and folks can watch it and that one person can change their mindset at that moment, mission accomplished.
It's awesome.
You know, you're doing a video for many, but you hope that one person either got a good feeling, they did something better that day, they improved themselves a little bit. I'm just John with a little humble opinion, just trying to share.
That's the content, but you had the recipient of the content in mind before you built it. There was no agenda attached to that necessarily, right? But the agenda was like having the conversation, benefit of everyone, not benefit of John necessarily. I think that's a key piece of what I was saying.
And thank you. So so this Real Estate Radio Get to Know is supposed to start with music. And so,
oh boy,
yeah, I think actually, Darin, I think I'm a couple years older, but we'll say that Donnie and Marie, I'll admit I watched it, but I love the little bit country, you a little bit rock and roll. So the idea is, where is Darin sit in that music spectrum?
That's funny. Okay. So I am a lot, I consider myself a good old boy at heart. So I'm a lot more country than rock and roll these days. And I probably always have been. I had a big stint in the Grateful Dead genre and the Widespread Panic. I'm a 90s kid, so I also had the grunge. I was never really a hair band guy. So, I was a grunge kind of roots. But
so like Nirvana kind of side of?
Yep. Pearl Jam. But then that moved into more of the Grateful Dead and that stuff when I was in my 20s, I guess. But now, if you're riding my truck with my dog and me, you will hear Need to Breathe, which is a pretty cool rock band. I don't know if you've heard of that one. Then the other one will be Turnpike Troubadours, which is really country type of thing.
Need to Breathe with a D, like, or
Need to Breathe, as in breath.
I'm not.
Yeah, Need to Breathe. Yeah, they're great band. But yeah, it's country. It's kind of, as my wife says, that's too twangy. I'm like, well, hey, it's my truck.
Well, so I'll be candid, and my wife always says it's all about John. So, well, sometimes it has. For me, twangy country is like the Willie Nelson, if you will, a little bit twangy. Yep. Johnny Cash to me is like the most classic country persona. Stage presence, everything about Johnny Cash, and he's got the same initials, so there must be something there.
Cash, Haggard, Nelson, all on the playlist. Absolutely. Yep.
So that's why I start with music, because it fuels passion for almost anybody.
Sure.
If someone says, "Oh, I just don't like music at all," I'm pretty sure we're not going to work out.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, come on, something. You gotta like something.
That means they're probably a little crazy getting that truck with no music and just drive.
Yeah, it's as I've gotten older, I've gotten back to my roots a little bit there, and finally settled on the truck is me. I love that truck. The dog in the truck with me. She goes everywhere with me. She's in the back seat. She prefers the back seat. Got a big cabin there, but and we're listening to country music. I don't know if she likes it. I've never really asked her, but she seems to get it just fine.
It's funny you say Pearl Jam, because my dog Coco, we had our beautiful lab for 16 years. She passed a few years ago, but Coco was a Pearl Jam fan.
Huge Pearl Jam fan.
A new song from Pearl Jam called Siren, but Coco literally sang along with that song.
That's a great song. Yeah.
Well, to me, again, my son makes fun of Eddie Vedder because I'm a U2 Bono kind of guy, and they're similar in a sense.
I'm also a big Bono fan, big U2. That album, Joshua Tree, broke the universe, in my opinion. Like that, to me, I include that in that genre back. It just changed that's when everything changed. It was when that album came out. I think that's why I never got into that hair band stuff. Because when you have U2 at the same, they've been around that long. You know what I mean? Like they were there. When that album came out early, Joshua Tree is early. I'm like, man, this is way different. These guys, who are these guys?
Well, we're going to keep it on music way too long once you get me started, because I'll tell you, Darin, to me, when the Joshua Tree came out, I was actually a little bit pissed off because it's the first time they used a drum machine. And so hearing With or Without You come on, that's not U2. It's three guys and a singer. It's a drama.
So you're even before that. So that's when they went mainstream music, is Joshua Tree. That was mainstream. Yeah.
But I eventually was okay with it. obviously. But yeah, the band to me is just, they're about, again, kindness and goodness, a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
of Christian rock mixed in, if you will. But
I've seen 4 U2 shows. So besides Zach Brown, I've probably not seen another band more. I've seen Zach Brown and U2 that many times. So
that's a live show you should miss. And I'm
absolutely.
biased, obviously. But so you went to Red Rocks, obviously?
For Zach Brown?
Oh, no, for you too.
No, I did not. No, they were the only time that U2 would come to Colorado. They were way too big to ever play at Red Rocks. So I've only seen them at Pepsi Center and then at Mile High Stadium. Like they played the Broncos Stadium. I mean, 80,000 people the last time I saw them.
And fill it out without a problem. Yeah.
Oh, smacked.
Well, no, because the Red Rocks was actually filmed in '83, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Rocks,
I mean, right. So
but
I'm 40. I'll be 47. I'll be 47 this summer. So I graduated high school at 17 years old in '92. So that's why I think that Joshua Trio was pretty pivotal. But yeah. So there's no way. I mean,
sure.
Red Rocks is 7,000-8,000 people. I think it can hold. Like no way. You have to do like 10 shows, and they'd be sold out every one.
Actually, they have to wait till they're older like me, and they can go. Edge and Bono can go back and do an acoustic set. Probably.
You think? Yeah, I don't know. My son loves the Edge and Bono, so he's 10 or he's 11. I don't. It's funny. We are going to talk about this too long, but hey, they transcend generations, and that's how it's a good band to me.
And I'm sad about that in a way, because I'm wondering how many young kids, say in the age of 7 to 15, know the Beatles.
Mine do. Like they're 9 and 11. Yeah. I'm keeping it real.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So one thing I wrote down, I need my glasses for a little while. So off your website, there was a couple that stood out, but you just mentioned one that's going to really stand out. So the human-centered communication.
Yeah.
We try to do these videos. We try to have that personal touch, as we talked about before, and you were mentioning having that plan in mind for what you're delivering to the recipient more than what you're trying to help them understand about you and your products.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, BombBomb is about the customer experience more than it's about a video enablement product, right? I want to help you create value for your customers and experiencing you as a human being. And that's what we think that human-centered communication is what that's all about. How do we be more human in the way we communicate with people that we're interacting with every day, whether that be our future customers or existing customers or employees? I think a lot of things that have been going on lately, like when I get off this call with you and I get back to my inbox or look at my phone or look at LinkedIn, what's going to be there? I'm going to get a bunch of unsolicited stuff, right? And I always like to ask this question when I do these podcasts. I'm like, John, do you think that those messages were sent by a real human anymore or not? Like it used to be, you didn't, they were from a real person because there wasn't this ability to kind of fake it. And I just think that we get overran by this communication. And if you're in real estate, you should listen, because you might say, well, that's not me. I'm not doing that. But you have to play in competition with that messaging that's coming at me, right? So, I call this digital pollution. We're polluting our inboxes. I mean, my phone. Look, I don't answer that phone unless you're in it. Unless your name comes up and it says your name, I don't answer it. I don't know. Do you? I mean, so that goes to voicemail, and then I might listen to it and look at and decide what I'm going to do. But then I don't even, if I don't know you, I have no problem deleting the voicemail and never calling you back. I don't even skip a beat. And then in my inbox, right?
I was just going to say, because you got it transcribed on the voicemail now too. So you can look at the first few lines and say, no, I'm not going to listen to this one.
But it even used to be that you might even call someone back you don't know. Do you even think about it anymore? Do you ever call someone back that you don't know? Do you even feel like you need to? I think this has decreased. So I look at my inbox. If I don't know what it is, click, 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 shift, delete, gone. I don't even think about, and I don't have any remorse about it. I think I used to.
Right.
I used to, right? Like I think, when I was coming up and I was a salesperson, I was making outbound phone calls. That's off the table for the most part now. The ability for you to penetrate with phone is off the table. And why? I think because we're somewhat abusing that. Now we have things like slide dial where I can leave an automatic message on your phone. And then we try and get super creative about what we're going to say on that. But everyone's doing this. So it's escalated, this proliferation of pollution, and we're all dealing with it. And so what we're trying to offer is that maybe there's a better way. Maybe we should think about it. I said this already, be a value and abundance will follow. Who are our best customers? What problem do we solve for them? How can we narrow our focus to these people? And how can we build a better communication style? And so I believe video is a good way to do that. And when I'm creating a video, I start to think to myself, how can I make this video value for John? Because I looked at his LinkedIn profile. I know a little bit about him. I'm going to make it personal, not personalized, because everybody's onto the trick. Like there's a big difference between personal and personalized. The trick is I can just use variable data fields to make your name appear in the subject line. And everybody knows how to do that now. The ship is sailed, right? So I just think we need to get better at being of value to people and caring about what our message is for them. Again, that my message, it's more about how you feel than how I feel about achieving my objective. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's more about the recipient's emotion rather than making sure we're getting to the next step of this process. So
Yes.
that actually makes a lot of sense for our real estate folks specifically, because you talked about the phone and pick up the phone and cold calling. But what about now with spoofing, where my phone can call you and can say mom or can say dad? So, oh, hey, mom's that you? And it's just amazing how much bad technology is out there.
Yeah, you got to ask yourself this, like, are we building trust or are we taking trust away? Because if you're starting off that way in the relationship that you want to then transact on this property, you're just not building trust, in my opinion, there. So relationships are built on trust, empathy. These are all feelings, by the way, feelings. So I don't know about you, but I think it's hard to create feelings from these communication styles. Text, you can create feelings, but they're usually negative. Black text on a white screen through an email, social media. A lot of times, and I'm not saying you don't do these things. I'm just saying you have got to use them in the right way. And then, mix in some personal messaging, one-to-one communication with another human. Hi, John, what's up? Hey, my name's Darin. I noticed that whatever, solve the problem that you solve better than anybody else for the person that you're trying to communicate with. Mix that up a little bit with all this other digital stuff you got going on, and think about reducing your digital footprint. We think about reducing our pollution footprint. I hope everyone's recycling. We're past these points now. Like we're onto this stuff, right? Now we need to think about that a little bit from our digital footprint. What are we throwing out there and hoping it sticks to the wall? Let's be more intentional. Let's be more personal. Let's get back to the being our best selves, which is we're better in person. Typically, if you're in sales, listen, if you're in real estate, you're in sales, right? You're typically better face-to-face than you are on a phone or over email. The whole purpose is that you want to sit down, hopefully across the table, again, God willing, at some point, from someone in a listing presentation, or you're going to do that over Zoom. That's the whole goal of all this stuff, right? So that you can sell their home. If that's the case, it's time to get more personal than personalized. And I think we spend so much time on the new lead that we have that we forget about the one we've had before. So if you've ever had a listing, that person's more important, I think, than the new one coming in, because that person can create referrals. In my business, we have this, we call it a cost to acquire a customer, CAC ratio. And then we have a LTV, which is a lifetime value of that customer. So if you're my customer, John, how much money did it cost me to get you to become a customer? And in real estate, we spend a lot of time and a lot of money to get customers. We spend money on marketing and whatever medium it might be. It could be billboards, it could be flyers, it could be whatever that is. And then what do we do to keep that customer? for a long time. You say, well, many people don't transact but a few times in their lives. Well, that might be true, but they have friends. So you got to use that to increase. So let's say it cost me $100. Well, am I going to spend $100 forever to get more customers, or make that $100 grow into 5 or 6 or 7 customers from the $100 I spent? I just don't think we think about that enough. And that gets back to, we would treat those people differently. We'd look to build better relationships with them. And we build those personal connections and ties to get that lifetime value to go out farther and farther and farther.
Well, and I love the idea of personal and personalized being so different, because it comes down to just being authentic. And I think that's where the apprehension starts on creating these videos. People are scared to be themselves. And if they're themselves, they're going to be so madly successful.
That's it. I mean, okay, let's talk about we talk about this, the apprehension of doing video. I said to you, listen, if you cared more about the person receiving the message than you cared about what you thought you're going to get from doing it, because people come to BombBomb to start sending videos. They have this idea that I'm going to send videos and instantly get this outcome that sometimes is unrealistic, frankly. But if you cared more that this is a better experience for that person on the other side of the communication, that seeing me is better, maybe the nonverbal communication works more than the verbal or the audible. And so if you care more about that, it helps you get over your fear of video, because you're actually knowing that this is going to be better for the recipient to hear me, see me, and somewhat know me as a human more than if it was just another form of communication. So I think, especially while you're doing deals, like everybody talks about video in terms of getting new business. But I think really, once you get into, let's say you got a listing presentation coming up, send a video to say, hi, hey, really looking forward to our time together. I just want to put a face to the name. Have you have a face with the name? I'll be there at 7:00. We're going to cover this, 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 and this, and how I've helped many people, both in your neighborhood and this area, successfully sell their home. You instantly have built a connection, a personal connection with another human being that your competitors haven't. Now, I'll say this, if they are sending that video and you're not, they have the upper hand on you for sure, right? Now, at the end of the day, it comes down to how you're going to get the deal done for them. But you can't say that that's not better than just showing up cold. To me, helping you to know who I am a little bit before I show up is a better way to go about that. Does that make sense? So it's just an example of, while the deal is going on, that's some of the best times to build rapport, build relationship.
Well, so then with that said, during the whole process of the sale, you may start with that video, continue to do a video. Hey, just stop by the house. We checked on this. I want to let you know it looks great, blah, blah, blah. And just send that 30-second quick video. And over again, they're seeing your face, they're seeing your personality. So
there's a guy named Michael Thorne. Many people know Michael. He's a realtor in Langley, British Columbia. Been a BombBomb customer since like 2012. He told me something last year that I never heard before, that the best BombBomb video we ever sent was, and many of you are facing this right now if you're in real estate, helping a buyer buy a property and they just keep losing deals. He said, that's constant. Why didn't they fire me? Is what he said. What? They didn't fire me, and he couldn't believe it. But he kept in constant communication with them, face to face, like this, with videos. Guys, I'm sorry to tell you, this is what happened. This came in. This is and so it was this update through that deal. It took them a year to get the house finally, right? But his point was that staying in touch with them, being face to face with them constantly through that time, helped him keep them as a customer. And I think the same thing goes to the listing side. Keep communicating face to face with your customer through the deal. And listen, they can watch the video on their time. They can hear the bad news about the appraisal that didn't come back the way they wanted it to, and then follow up with a phone call. I'm not saying don't talk to them, but maybe let that message land, and you can deliver that with empathy, with grace, in a way that you couldn't with a text email. Okay. And let that land and then call them a couple hours after. You'll see that they watched it and then follow up with a phone call. So it helps you keep deals alive, keeps deals going, because it relies on your ability to create relationships and maintain relationships, which you have a natural ability to do if you're in sales. That's how you got here, by the way. So I'm just helping you lean on your natural abilities there.
Well, the empathy part, especially in the last year with COVID and the pandemic world we lived in, showing empathy and being relatable in that sense, you can only do so much typing it. You can only do so much speaking it, but showing it and
showing it. People need to feel, again, it's about how you make it, how you're making that person feel. And feelings come from usually either animals or other people, right? So we talked about our dogs. You can get emotion from that. So how are you making people feel, and what activities are you doing that are impacting feel? That and so in business terms, that's called customer experience, right? The customer experience. What is the customer experience that you are giving to your customers? That's why you think about using video, not because it's a cool trick that's going to get me more appointments or a cool trick that's going to get people to call me back. No, it's because don't do it. Don't buy BombBomb if that's what you want to do. What you should care about is that you're bringing a superior experience that your competitor is not going to, because it's uniquely you.
Well, and you think about your nonprofits that you're helping out, Darin. I think
that's why we do it. Yeah.
So it just makes you feel good when you hear that stuff, and the idea that nonprofits can track what's going on with their little bit of marketing they can afford to do. And the fact that you guys are helping them get some of that stuff done and out of the way, there's really nothing that can make you as an owner of a company feel better,
So that comes down to our big, hairy, audacious goal that we have as a business is to rehumanize the planet. That sounds crazy, but we want to make a dent in the universe. BombBomb was created to solve a problem of frankly, orphans, homelessness in our communities. So we do that locally and we do that internationally, but we wanted a way to expand our ability to do that. We realized that we have, 70,000 users or something like that. So what we're doing now is we're offering free BombBomb accounts to any nonprofit in the world that's actively trying to rehumanize the planet. So if you're trying to solve homelessness, if you're actively trying to stop human trafficking in this world, if you're trying to get people drug abuse, alcohol abuse, if you're a nonprofit engaged in these things, you get a free BombBomb account, because I need help in rehumanizing the planet. So, soon we're going out to our customers and saying, please give away BombBomb accounts to nonprofits in your local area, because we want to rehumanize the planet. We have this idea we can track then how many nonprofits we enable with video, so they can build better relationships and raise more money and get their donations up, and they can communicate better with those people that they're helping too. So then how are we rehumanizing the planet through video, through our company, by making a bigger impact than just what we could do with our own resources? So that's kind of the idea behind that if we're going to really get our goal done, in our book's called Rehumanize Your Business, because we do believe everything we've just been talking about through video rehumanizes your business, the customer experience you deliver. Our podcast is the customer experience podcast. It's not the video podcast, because that's what we believe in. But this initiative is it's why we get up. It's why people work at BombBomb. It's why Connor and I started the business, is because we want to make a dent in the universe. Connor went to Africa. We saw homelessness there. We saw people starving to death, and we just had to do something about it. And that's why BombBomb exists. But BombBomb was just the best business vehicle as entrepreneurs we came up with to satiate that need. We were like, oh yeah, this will do it. And then it blew up and became a bigger, and I think that was for a purpose. So, and the purpose is rehumanizing the planet. So yeah, please help us do that. If you're listening, a nonprofit, tell them to get a BombBomb account for free. So we have a website. So I'll give it to you, John. Maybe you can post that too. It's our, you can just go to this link. If you're a nonprofit, sign up for BombBomb for free forever.
So positive impact people, the PIPs, as we talked about before, but to me it's the PIPs, the positive impact business, because obviously you guys have to make money to survive. It's your business, but knowing that you can help out and offer the service to folks that truly need it and can't afford it. It must, as you said, get you up in the morning.
Be of value and abundance will follow. Be of value and abundance will follow. Look, yeah, I'm hoping that everybody keeps buying BombBomb accounts too. But, right. But that's not why I do it. And I do it because I believe that being face to face with humans is a better way. That's why BombBomb exists. It's why we built the business, and I want to make a dent in the universe. So yeah, but I believe so far that you might, depending on what your beliefs are, you put it out in the universe and it comes back to you, karma, whatever you want to call it. I believe I was given a purpose to do this business, and that's what we're trying to execute on. And the money has been a blessing alongside of just trying to do the right thing.
Well, I congratulate you guys and Mr. Steve Passanelli, Ethan, the whole team, John doing your customer service. Just, I think watching that company over the last decade or so, it's been fun to watch. So the fact that you're good people and now you have this great mission to help out those nonprofits, and just in general, a great staff of folks out there to help folks. If anyone's thinking about doing video, trying to figure it out, got to call the guys at BombBomb. I'm a user. I have to admit, and my boss Brian Wildermuth will be happy to hear this. I wish I used it more, Darin. It's one of those things that I don't want to automate it because I really plan every video that I do. But I'll admit, I also say, okay, I have a mission. I'm going to spend 90 minutes on these videos, and I want to get at least 30 banged out. That's going into the mindset that not necessarily is the way I want to focus on those, but you do, in some instances, have to get to volume on these videos. When you're trying to get out to 1,000 agents and get them done in a week, it's not easy to really make them personal. You can personalize them, but it's not real easy to make them personal when you're doing that type of volume.
But even if it's 30, I'd argue that the volume is not crazy, right? Mm-hmm. That's a lot, but it's not, it's not 100 or a day that an automated system could generate. If you can do 30 videos a day, and that's a lot, I think that's a lot. Look, if you're listening to this and you break that up a bit, now I would say do 3 a day and do 3 different types. Like I try and do 3 a day, and I'm at 6,000 personal videos sent or something like that. But all my communication, I just use video because I know I want to be understood more than anything. So we don't have to always agree, but I want you to understand what I'm saying, and I want to be clear in how I communicate it. So I do send videos predominantly, unless it's a very short text, email, or text back. But 3 a day, I think, is the easy way to begin. Touching base with a past client, saying thank you, showing gratitude. Showing gratitude is a great thing because it gives you a great feeling because you're offering gratitude, again, a feeling, and then you make them feel great too. And you almost always get a response from when you show gratitude. And nothing shows gratitude if you can say thank you or congratulations or whatever it is to someone. Showing gratitude, you get that feeling, they get a feeling, and there's reciprocity there. It shows back up in the communication coming back from them, right? So you're caring more about the recipient than you are about yourself. Then the second type of communication might be some sort of outbound prospect lead that came in, asking for a referral account. That is a prospect, like that's an outbound activity. And then the third might be, again, another showing of gratitude to someone you work with, your mortgage lender. Thank you. The person, the agent on the other side of the deal. Thanks so much for working that through with us. You're a great professional. I love working with you. Really appreciate you. That's all it takes. But if you did that on a text email versus a video, you know the reaction on the other side. Again, in every instance I just gave you, you're showing appreciation. You're caring about that person more than about yourself. That if we had that in the world more, we'd be a better place. And I think your business is going to be better off as well. Don't overthink it, John. Just 3 simple videos, Brian. Don't make them do 30, by the way. That's, you got a lot of customers to get through, but I think showing appreciation to people makes me think and like you. And then I'm going to remind me about what you do. And then I might need it again now, right? So some of that's more passive. Sometimes we got to be more assertive than that and ask for the business. But I think a lot of times it's that, again, that experience that we provide as people is what makes us different. Because ultimately, You're buying my people. Well, I'm buying you, John, not deluxe, right? Like you're buying the people at Bomb Bomb. I like working with him. I like working with her. She's been great for me forever. I'm going to keep working. Oh, you got to work with her. You kidding me? She sold her house in 3 days. Why would you talk to anybody else? She's amazing. That's the type of stuff you want to be said about you. So how are you making those things happen?
It's hard when you have to really, as a user of a product like Bomb Bomb, you have to really have a plan. Because I'm sure, as you mentioned before, a lot of agents will grab that and just go with it and not really have a plan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is better than not doing anything. But I guess sometimes it could have a negative effect if they're not really thinking about what they're doing. Doing a little bit of research before you create that video for someone, you can learn so much online about people.
Absolutely.
And that being said,
there's no success without intentionality. I've never met a successful anything that's not intentional, unless they're a trust funder or something like that. You have to be intentional, you have to be organized, and you have to make time to set, and you have to have goals. Like some of these fundamentals have to be in place, and then be intentional about what you're going to do. And that's how you get successful with these things. It can be used or not used. It's up to you. But again, I just think that people are better when they're face to face.
And I'll say from my Bomb Bomb videos, there's no one that's better replied to that were based on gratitude or giving thanks. And like Correct. You just said, it leaves maybe, oh, I'm going to have John top of mind now because that was a nice thank you video. He said, now tomorrow when I'm trying to figure out what to do, oh, I might call John at Deluxe.
Yeah, exactly. I got to get some of that stuff. Yeah. Well,
it's just being top of mind at the end of the day, because we have so much we could talk about. I'm going to try to cap this, but I think that one of them is, talking about the stat of being forgotten. 70% of agents are forgotten 1 year after a transaction. And I've heard that since day one. It really hasn't changed.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
But here's the deal, Darin, and I don't know if there's an answer. I don't know if it's necessarily being forgotten, or are they being stolen from? Meaning with all the lead gen stuff that's out there, if I'm not constantly staying in touch with my sphere of influence, granted that tight 50 people, 100 people, they're probably going to still use me, but it's that next level in my sphere that I'm losing. They're not necessarily forgetting me. They're being picked.
Yeah. I'll give, like my real estate agent, she sends me smartly probably 4 videos a year, and she's fascinating. Her name's Renee Bear. She's amazing. And Bear team here in Colorado Springs. And she just sent me a video personally inviting me and my wife to their, they call it the Bears in the Valley concert. They do a customer gathering once a year at their home. It's great, right? So, and then they do the pop buys when COVID first started. Doorbell rings. I go to open it. I'm like, this is like 2 weeks into the pandemic. I'm like, who's ringing the doorbell? And here's my real estate agent peeling away. And she left a gift bag for our family, coloring books for the kids, popcorn or tea for my wife, because she knows she likes tea, coffee for me, knowing that, to help us get through the pandemic. Then I got a video from Renee. Hey, I dropped that off. Hope you're doing great. This is crazy. Right. And then I get I got a video being like, then I got a video saying, hey, just got this new listing in case you know anybody that might want it. Right. Wink, wink. So I get 4 a year, and Renee's and Ed, her husband, their team, they're my people. That's all it takes, guys. I think those are great examples. So maybe you don't have to do the big party, but all she did was drop off coffee, tea, and coloring books, and then sent a video. It's called a virtual pop buy, made popular now by the pandemic in the Buffinis. But then, hey, there's a new house. We just listed it. Hey, these are all texts, by the way. She's texting me Bomb Bomb videos. Link below to the house we listed. Let me know if you know anybody.
Yeah, my guess is she might be a Buffiniite because she's doing the pop buys.
She's definitely a Buffiniite, and then also a Bomb Bomb user. And of course, she's my person too. But so you might say it's biased, but Renee has always been like this. Ed has always been they've been like this forever. They're people. They know that I haven't bought a house in 15 years, but when I do, or when anybody asks me who my agent is in Colorado Springs, it's Ed and Renee Bear.
There you go. That's why it really, I know, again, outside looking in for 20 plus years, that's what Chipman's been doing. I've never gotten a license. Should I have gotten a license? Well, maybe, but I
Yeah,
can't.
all the folks that we service, these great people in this industry, all thought, God, why didn't we get into such a great business? Why didn't we get into this? Why did I start a software company? I should have been running a real estate team.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Because the good ones work their butts off.
Oh yeah, it is a
Nights are gone,
hard job,
and text. So yeah,
nonstop
it really
business.
is. Well, so we have to bow it up. So Darin, I do my little bucket list thing at the end here. I'm actually very curious, unless it's going to be a long conversation. But the bucket list to me, as I've gotten older, I just doing some math, I'm about a decade older than you. But for me, hearing someone else's bucket list makes me go, oh, I haven't thought about that. And typically it's not attainment, it's more of experience.
Yeah.
So is there something for you and your family that you hope to check off that list?
Man, that's a tough one, man. I don't think often in terms like that. I just feel I've had a lot of great opportunities in my life, and I try and love them all. I'm trying to think like I got, I guess if I had to be a trip, I've always wanted to like go to, I'm big history buff actually. So I want to go to Germany. I want to go to Normandy. I've been to France, been to Paris, but I've never been through like that World War II type thing.
Right.
That's definitely on my bucket list. And then the second thing that comes to mind would be to tour some of the great distilleries in Scotland. So I love bourbon. I love Scotch. I've been able to go to, Kentucky and stuff, but not to Scotland. So I told my wife, look, when I turn 50, I will be in Scotland. You might not be with me, but I am going to be there. You're welcome to come with me, but because she's not a big, Scotch fan. So, but I will be, walking between distilleries in Scotland when I turn 50. Come if you'd like.
That's the plan. Yeah. Well, so I am. So you're getting ready to turn 50. I'm going to turn 60. That'll be interesting. So I'll be in Dublin trying to see the boys, and you'll be looking for your distilleries. That's.
Who are the boys in Dublin?
Huh?
What's that?
The U2 boys.
Oh, okay. Nice. Live.
Oh, you're thinking, yeah. I got kids all over the world there.
I was like, I don't know, maybe.
That's awesome.
So you might want to go see Liverpool. That'd be another thing, is to see a European soccer match. I think would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So I think without a doubt, if it's okay with you, let's do another one of these down the road somewhere.
Sure.
Find out how those nonprofits are doing because of Bomb. I'd love, by the way, because I know Deluxe has a small business revolution where there's actually a TV show. We go into a town and we'll help out that town, because the idea is we help the businesses survive, communities will thrive.
Love it. Absolutely.
So it kind of connects in an interesting way. There's like, I don't know, 4.5 small businesses use Deluxe, but my guess is a lot of them are in the nonprofit. So helping out these folks do what you guys do. Congratulations. I wish you another 10, 20 years of great success.
Thank you.
That Scotland trip going for you too.
Appreciate it. Thanks, John.
All right, Darin. Good day.
Yeah.
Telephone keeps ringing, and the boss man knows I know it's him, and the bills ain't gonna pay themselves. Don't matter anyway, 'cause I ain't in